Hello, I'm Mark.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Patrick.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about Ford and what are they doing. It sounds like they've taken some things from the Tesla Playbook. But first, Casey's going to roll that title card for us.
Let's talk about Ford, baby.
You're watching the Tesla Life Express.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. Wonder if you had a chance to listen to the Ford call that they put out recently, the 11th of August, I believe it was. And Jim Farley got up on stage and talked about how they were going to be spending $5 billion on a new EV infrastructure, allowing Ford to produce cost-effective, faster EVs. Now, just a little while ago, I was kind of surprised that Ford was easing off the accelerator pedal when it comes to EVs, and they were talking more about hybrids and that the F-150 Lightning wasn't for everybody, and people need to tow. And and now Farley comes back with his presentation, and he starts to outline all these points they're going to spend $5 billion doing a new assembly line, structured into, they call it a tree form, where they've got three different parts of the tree putting together the vehicle all at once. So there's a front end, there's a rear end, there's a center. And these three different production lines are putting the vehicle together in a separate box-like form, and then they're all going to meet near the end of the production line where they're put together and actually completed. Where have you heard that before? Exactly. So that, not a surprise there, but also he started explaining about how they want to make large castings. They want to be able to reduce the number of parts and weight that are in their vehicles, especially the front and the rear casting. They want to be able to eliminate all sorts of parts and save on production line work by having these large castings. Again,
Where have you heard that before?
Right out of Tesla's playbook, right? He wanted to talk a little bit about how they're going to make all of the battery component, all the batteries fit between the wheel wells of the vehicle. Skateboard design.
They weren't already doing that?
Yeah, I think everybody was already doing that before. But he went on about how he wants to make it structurally viable, and how putting those cells in an area of the vehicle that could also lend support to the structure of the body, and you could lift it from below and attach it to the vehicle. Again, right out of Tesla's playbook. Not surprising because, obviously Tesla's been doing this now for years, and it has been successful for them. And they've talked about their tree assembly line, which they call the unbox line, but it basically is the same thing. You create different stations, puts the vehicle together in pieces, allows people to get at their jobs quicker and not be interrupted by other parts of the vehicle that they're not concerned about. And then at the end, they all meet on the conveyor line and they attach together, and you've got yourself a completed vehicle. So not surprising that others want to do this. It's just, and I get it. Ford has to spin the PR that, we've called it the tree. Okay, great. You can't call it unboxed. I get it. They're going to have to do it in that particular way. They're going to have to indicate that this is our idea. Got to keep the shareholders happy. Got to make sure that they believe we know what we're doing. And they're explaining this to a group of people that I've got to believe understand that others have done this already or are on their way to doing this. And this is just the reality of manufacturing in the 2020s. This has to happen in order for them to reduce costs and get the vehicle out to people at a lower cost. And speaking of costs, the other part of the article was talking about how they're going to be able to create a few vehicles that will be sub $35,000. They're talking about a smaller pickup truck that will be, again, around 30,000. They're talking about having this skateboard battery build will allow them to put different bodies on the skateboard and not really change things. If they have to add a few more packs because they want lower range, they can do that. If they need to take them out, they can do that. And again, this is nothing new, but this is Ford's spin on it, and this is what they're promoting to their shareholders, that this is what we're going to spend the $5 billion on, and it's going to put us in a much better position when it comes to EV.
Does anybody actually use their skateboards yet? Started with the GM Highwire, or oh yeah, you just changed the bodies. Has anyone done that? I mean, I guess Rivian's close, but it's still not the same vehicle.
Well, I know that that GM tried to promote that we're just going to put different bodies on a common skateboard frame that can be expanded or contracted based on the size of vehicle that we're building and what the vehicle is going to do. And I guess when you looked at what they did with their Lyric, and then with what they're about to do with the Bolt, that would be a difference in size of battery pack. But are they still using the same architecture? I really don't know. Because if they were to change course halfway through this,
yeah,
they're not going to promote that to us. Oh, no. you know about that great speech we gave 6 months ago? It's all out of the window. We're going to change it completely now. That's not going to be their next performance on a stream.
Yeah, because the stretch it and grow it, that's not really all that new. Everybody's been doing that forever. But the actual skateboard, since the Highwire, nobody's actually done it where I can, go to the dealer and switch out from a large sedan to a minivan or a pickup truck. No difference in the wheelbase or anything like that. Just different shell.
No, I don't think anyone's ever done that yet. They still haven't done the swap the body. We've got 5 bodies in the back. Pick the one you want. We'll just put it on.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Drive out with that.
Yeah, Ford could do that. I want a '68 Mustang exterior. Boom! There you go, in a brand new car. That'd be awesome.
Is what Hyundai with that minivan / cargo van / box truck. But that's even them that they sold that one as being able to switch them, but really it's one. You pick one, and it's that one for life.
So we'll put the link below about this article if you would like to read about it. But I am genuinely confused about how Ford talks about both sides of the coin at almost the same time. It wasn't more than 6 or 8 weeks ago, and they were talking about scaling back EV. They were talking about how that we need to have more hybrids available, that people that are buying an electric truck need to tow. That means that we need, a gasoline motor to get longer ranges, because towing dramatically decreases the amount of EV range that our trucks have. And it's like, okay, so why are you spending all this money switching to EV, putting a new production line in? Could you not have a more unified message saying, we are still going the EV course, but we are changing the game plan a bit to improve what we're doing? Not say, oh, we're going back to hybrids and we're going to, we're throwing the whole thing in reverse just so that 6 weeks later we can say, we got a new plan and it's $5 billion and we're building all this new infrastructure. It's bizarre to me.
It is. They are the only legacy that hasn't gone bankrupt yet, so they've got the money, but they do have to be careful with it, otherwise they'll join the list. And this is confusing to me. I'm not sure if this is part of Model E or the Skunk Works project, because they had 2 different electric things going on. They had the Model E division and the Ford Blue legacy stuff, and then they had the Skunk Works that even Farley, his key card didn't work at the place. He said I doubt it.
Bullshit.
And so I was pondering before we went to record on this one. I was like, well, how does this play in with my theory that what we'll see is they'll continue to, get this thing straight and figure out what they want. And then what they'll do is just chunk all the legacy stuff they don't want, including the dealer contracts, into Ford Blue, and then chuck that thing out the window. And then they'll just have Model E, we, what's left of Ford, and that much more profitable.
Interesting. Yeah. So I think, Mark, the problem they have is they need to sell the cars they're making today. And they don't want to say, oh, these are bad and we're going to do better stuff. They don't want to Osborne themselves. But they also know that 5 years from now, that they have to have a viable EV market and it has to be profitable. They have to find some way to make them that's cost effective. So that requires this investment today. And they want the shareholders to buy into that because it's not going to pay off this quarter, next quarter. It's going to be years of investment of billions of dollars, right? And that's a lot of spending, which is going to make their books look bad unless you have, but we're going to pay off we're going to have affordable EVs that are going to sell like hotcakes, and it's going to be worth it. So that's what they're trying to balance, these two things, which is why, the pure plays like Tesla, Rivian don't have that. They don't have to service one market while don't have to talk about it out of both sides of their face. The legacies have a tightrope they have to manage.
Yeah. And we actually do see a little bit of this with Tesla and Robotaxi, Optimus, and AI. Not as bad as this, because those all play into exactly what's already out there, but it does. You do see them kind of do a little bit of the tip as they approach a changeover.
Oh yeah, we've certainly heard it with like the stocks. Well, at some point you're not going to drive anyway, so it doesn't matter. Well, no. Today I'm driving. It matters.
Yeah, it took 6 years before my wipers were okay.
Right. Yes. If I can't see out the window, neither can the camera. Come on, make the wipers work better.
You should see the amount of times I go, I can't see expletive, and the car's like beep 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 beep. Yeah, I know. I just said it.
Yeah, this is one thing. So what a lot of just a little bit off topic here, but the AI companies are finding that if somebody wants to do math, you install a calculator tool and let the AI use the tool, because there are already good tools to do that kind of stuff. Instead of trying to figure out how a neural network can do math and tons of programming or training for that, no, that uses a lot more power. It's already a solved problem. So they could have just kept the same range sensors in and even allowed the AI to control what settings of the range sensor are used, and even manually wipe when it wants to, but still keep the tool and don't overburden the AI with something that is an already solved problem.
Or at least let it stay in the car for a year or two and just copy the $5 chip
for training. Right. Yes. Yeah, range sensors are not that expensive. Yeah.
And they work really well.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So one thing I did like about this was it sounds like they want to make an electric Maverick, and the Maverick Hybrid is doing very well. People do want normal sized trucks again, and the reason we're getting these giant ones is a matter of they like to blame it on the EPA, and it's not really the EPA's fault. These people are taking advantage of the loophole. But it is the EPA's fault for not closing the loophole, I suppose. But when I was growing up, you could reach over the back of a pickup truck and load and unload it from the side, from the back. It didn't matter. And now, for many trucks, you need a ladder. As a 6 foot, 6.5 foot dude, I see you on a ladder up there loading the truck.
Yeah, some of the tailgates have built-in step ladders now and things like that. Yeah.
If you showed that when I was a kid to my grandpa, look at this tailgate, has a step ladder. He said, "What the heck do you need that for?" Just reach over the side like this.
Right. Yeah. Unless it was Bigfoot, you could get into a truck.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that having less atoms to put together means that it's going to cost less money. If one box is as good as Ford and Tesla say it's going to be, that will help save some money. Smaller battery, smaller motors, smaller wheels, tires. Just everything about this is a perfect synergy that allows them to try and hit that $30,000 mark with this truck. I don't know that they'll be able to do it unless it's like a work truck style, just bare bones. But you can get a lot closer to that bare bones when you have an EV than you can with a modern gas truck that needs to meet emissions and not be just dog getting on the highway. It's got to be faster and more comfortable than a 50 Volkswagen.
So let's turn it to the people watching the video. What do you guys think Ford will be able to do here? Is $5 billion going to do it? Are they going to be doing all the things that they mentioned in this article? Can they do it? Or is it going to be more of a stepped thing where they'll take a few of them on and they'll see how it goes, and then they'll rewrite the plan again in another 6 weeks? So it would be interesting to hear from you to tell us what you think is going on at Ford and how the situation will change or not change. But please put it in the comments, let us know. And if you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up on the video, press that subscribe button so you know when we release videos. And with that, let's go to shout outs and start with Casey. What do you got?
Also, let us know if you think that's going to be like internal or forced by the shareholders. So catch us on Sunday for Let's Chat with Casey and Friends over at youtube.com/Casey Green or x.com/gcustom, and come back again here for the Tesla Life Express. Keep the bell turned on for the Tesla Life Express Part 2. Who knows? Last week we had Tesla Life Express Part 3. When might we do it again? Who knows? That will catch you on the flip side.
Patrick.
As always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org, and I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net, where I write about my future free from fossil fuels. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you very much for joining us today, and get with us next time, and we'll find out what's happening in the Tesla life.
See you in a couple days on Part 2.